Hey guys! Today we're going to create a full stack quiz application using Django because a bunch of people pissed me off. They apologized, but I don't know if I should forgive them because I can't quantify the level of sorry they're at. That's why we'll be creating a how sorry are you quiz. Alright, so a prerequisite to using Django and following along is having Python installed on your system. So let's check if we have Python by typing py --version. I have Python. If you don't have Python and you want to follow along, make sure to download it. Next up, let's create a directory where our project will live. Let's call it sorry quiz. And now let's cd into our sorry quiz and open it in Visual Studio Code. And now we're gonna need to create a Python environment. So we can click on View, Command Palette, Python create environment. We're gonna create a .venv virtual environment. Right, it took a few seconds, but now we have our environment ready. Let's open terminal and we see .venv here, which is great because that means our virtual environment is ready to use. First thing we need to do is install Django. So pip install Django. Okay, Avast thinks something suspicious might be going on, and that's normal. It always does that. All right, we're all good. We have Django. And next we wanna start our project. So we're gonna use the command Django admin start project. I'll just copy it from the docs tutorial. So Django admin start project sorry quiz project. Is that a good name? I don't know. Anyways, let's cd into it. Sorry quiz project. Okay, and now we can check on our server. So pymanage.py, run server. Yay, the install worked successfully. Congratulations. Thanks, Django, for making me feel like I've done something important when I've done nothing. Now, let's start our app. Oh, but before we do, let's run pymanage.py migrate. And now we want to create the app. So pymanage.py start app sorry quiz. Nice. Super awesome. Okay. And now we need to add the sorry quiz app to the installed items in the settings. So sorry quiz.apps sorry quiz config. And then we wanna create a urls.py in our sorry quiz directory. The url.py file is how we are going to connect our views to routes. And to make it work, I'm gonna just check the docs really quickly. URL dispatcher. Yes, we're gonna need this code. Let's copy it and paste it. We're importing path from Django URLs, and we're importing our views that we haven't created yet. Actually, why not create our first view? Okay, so define index request, return render request, and then index.html. Now we can go back to our urls.py and create our first URL pattern, and it would be path, and we'll leave it empty because that's the root. And then views.index name index. Okay, and now let's create a templates directory to keep our HTML files. So it'll be index.html .html. And let's also create a base generic .html file. It's going to serve as a template. And in order to make our HTML work, we're obviously going to need boilerplate. So let's get some boilerplate. So HTML5 boilerplate. Okay, let's copy it and paste it. All right, let's also create a static folder to keep our CSS file. So we're gonna need a CSS file. So let's create a directory in it and a new file and call it styles.css. And now let's go back to our base generic, and over here we're gonna load static. And now to connect our style sheet, we're using Django templating language, and here we write static, and then it's gonna be css slash styles.css. I think that's right. Okay, and here let's add block title, and let's make a default title. Are you sure you're sorry? And we don't need a script tag. Let's create another block, and it would be the content block. And now let's go to our index.html, and we want to extend our base generic. Okay, and then we create block content and block. And here, let's type in hello world. Okay, and now we gotta go to our urls.py and the project directory, and we gotta import include, and we're gonna add path. Let's say, are you really sorry? And include sorry quiz.urls. My gosh, that's not how you spell include. So from what I remember, Django doesn't serve static files by default. We're gonna need to activate that. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this code because we're gonna need to add it to the urls.py if we wanna use static files in a development environment. So let's copy this and delete the rest. Okay, I think if we run our application, we should be able to see hello world. So py manage.py run server. Okay, something is wrong with how I added it. So maybe I should just cut it again and do a plus sign like this. Yes, I think we got it. Let's try. Oh, yeah. See? It works when we go to are you really sorry? But let's make it redirect from the root to / are you really sorry by itself. I think there's something called redirect view, but I don't remember how to import it. So Django base views. Where is redirect view? Here it is. Okay, let's copy it. So from Django blah 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 import redirect view, and we'll add path redirect view as view, and we want to redirect it to are you really sorry, and then I'm gonna make it permanent true. Okay, now there's something wrong. Maybe I need to add a slash. I need to write, I think I should write URL equal here. Oh, I forgot this. Yay, I think we fixed it. It redirects by itself. Alright guys, since we're doing so well, let's grant ourselves super user status so we can access the admin page. So to do that, py manage.py create super user No, not Pico, Super Pico. Email address is pico@test.test. Password. I'm totally not just gonna write password. Yes. Yay. Alright, now let's run server again. And let's go to admin and type in Super Pico because that's who I am. And my password is totally not just the word password. Yay! There's an admin page already ready for us. Okay, now let's create our models for the quiz. Let's create a model called quiz. So class quiz models dot model. Every quiz is gonna need a title, and it'll be a character field, so models.char field, and max length should be maybe 225. And then we want to make it so quizzes don't appear on the page unless they're ready to publish. To do that, let's make is ready to publish. Let's make the default false. So models dot boolean field default false. Okay, and then let's define string method, and it will be self dot title. Okay, and since plural of quiz is not just quiz with an S, we should create class meta and add in verbose name plural so that we don't see quiz with an extra S in our tables and on the admin page and elsewhere. So quizzes. Okay, super cool. All right, now we want to create questions that are gonna have a many-to-one relationship with our quiz model. So class question models.model, and it wants to have a text field. I'm just gonna copy this title field, and I'm just gonna change the word title to text, and then we're gonna establish the relationship between the quiz and the question by adding foreign key like this, and then quiz, and then related name is questions, and then if the quiz is deleted, we want the questions to be deleted as well. So on delete models dot cascade. All right, and we also want string method defined as well, and it will be self dot text. I'm thinking that this quiz should be a multiple choice quiz. This way we would be able to guarantee that at least one of the responses on there would be a response that we would be okay with. All right, so let's create class choice. And I'm so lazy, so I'm just gonna copy class questions and change the name to choice. And choice would also have a text field, and it will have a many-to-one relationship with question. And we want the choices to have a score as well, because we want to be able to calculate the level of sorriness. And it will be a float field for accuracy. Default would be 0. All right. Oh, and this should be question, not quiz. Py manage.py make migrations. I wrote plural. Okay, wow. Let's fix that. Plural. I am very sorry. Let's try again. Let's make migrations. Okay. Py manage.py migrate. Okay. Our models are now ready, so let's register them in admin.py. First thing we need to do is import our models. Let's just import everything. And then let's just register our models. Admin.site.register. And let's register quiz, question, choice. Okay, and now let's check our admin page. We can see our models. Okay, let's check our quizzes models. And let's try to add a quiz. Let's call the quiz, how sorry are you? Okay, and now our quizzes model has one quiz. We can also create another quiz. Let's call it, how sorry are you for real? And we have two quizzes. Okay, but if we click on the quiz, we can't add questions to it. Let's go to questions and add a question. Let's say, for how many hours have you stayed up thinking about how wrong you were? And we can choose a quiz. So we can add questions, we can add choices to that question, but the UI is very annoying because you have to go to questions to add a question. And if you want to add choices, then you have to add the choices one by one, which is not what we want. So let's change that and make a more convenient UI that is actually usable. I can't imagine a situation where we would want to add choices without questions. So let's comment out this line and let's define a choice inline class, and we'll use admin tabular inline to do so. Model choice extra one. Okay, and now we want to register this choice inline class within our questions admin class. So to do that, we're going to define another class, which is class question admin, admin model admin, and inlines would be choice inline. And also we want to add a list filter quiz. Okay, let's refresh. We see questions and quizzes. Let's go to questions. We're supposed to see, oh, sorry guys, I forgot to register it. Question and question admin. Something is wrong. Inlines must be a list or a tuple. Oh, yes. This? Oh, list filter. Seriously. Okay. Let's go to admin. Yay. All right, let's go to questions and we can add choices. Okay, so the question was, for how many hours have you stayed up thinking about how wrong you were? So choices are all night, and let's make the score for this 5 or 2 hours, which is definitely not enough. So let's make the score 2. And then I did not. And this score should be definitely a negative score. Let's make it -6. And then more than 2 hours. Let's make this, let's say 2.5. Awesome. All right, let's go to our quizzes, and you can see here that we can see both of our quizzes. How about we start playing around with our styles.css? Okay, let's begin by adding some styling to our body. How about we create a linear gradient and we want to make it black to black. Yep, but one black would have lower opacity than the other. That is not what I had in mind. Let's fix that by making height 100%. Yes, that worked. Okay, and we no longer see our hello world, so let's make text color white. See it again. Nice. Okie dokie. I'm probably just gonna wanna center my quiz items, so I'm just gonna create class parent div and give it display flex and align items center. and justify content center. And then I'll create another class, call it center div, line items center. Okay, now let's go back to our index and let's create two divs and use the classes. Okay, looks like it worked. Okay, I'm thinking that we should go back to our base generic and start creating a nav bar. So we want our nav bar to have some items to the left and others to the right. So I'm going to create two divs. I'll give this one class nav left and the other one class nav right. A nav left will just contain a hot link and it will link to the main page, URL, index. In nav right, we're gonna have login or logout. So if users are logged in, they'll see log out, and if they're logged out, they'll see login. Let's just make a placeholder for now, and then later on, we are gonna create the logic for logging in and out. So I'm just gonna copy this. And for now, we just want a placeholder. Okay, now let's go back to our styles.css and let's add styling to the nav. So display should be flex, justify content, space between. Okay, and in general, we want to customize our links all over our app. So let's get the A tag and make text decoration none. All right, I think we are ready to go back to our views and see if we can show the quizzes in our index. So the first thing we want to do is import our models, and then let's create variable quizzes, and it would be quiz dot objects dot filter, and then is ready to publish equals true. Okay, and then let's create variable context, and it would be a dictionary to have quizzes, which would be our quizzes. And now let's go to our index.html and let's start a for loop. So for quiz in quizzes, quiz, and then and for. Okay, and now if we hit refresh, we should see the quiz that we have set to is ready to publish, and we do. We did it. That was so easy, right? Okay, let's see what would happen if we add another quiz. Let's go to admin and let's go to quizzes, and let's make this quiz is ready to publish and save it. Now when we refresh, we should see two quizzes, and it works. Super cool, right? Next up, we are going to go back to our views.py because we want to create quiz detail view where we're going to render our quizzes. And it's gonna take request as a param and also the quiz ID, which will be passing in through the URL. Okay, first let's get hold of the quiz. To do that, let's import get object or 404 and use it. Get object or 404 quiz, and here quiz ID. And then we want to get a hold of the questions in that quiz. So quiz dot questions dot all, and then let's create a context dictionary. Okay, and then we're gonna return render request. And then we wanna pass in the context, and we wanna pass in the template name. So it would be quiz. What am I doing? It's a string. Quiz detail. So let's create it. Okay, just like we've done with the index, let's extend base generic and also add in the block content. Let's see if we can get the quiz's title. So quiz.title. And then here, instead of for quiz in quizzes, let's make it for question in questions. Question. All right. Now, if we want to see what we've done, we have to go to urls.py again, and we have to add in the path to quiz detail. So path, say quiz slash int quiz d, quiz detail, and name is quiz detail also. Okay, I think this is correct. All right, and now we need to go back to our index.html and link to it. So here for quiz to quizzes, let's add a link, href, and then URL, quiz detail, quiz ID. Okay, I'm hoping if we refresh, oh, something is wrong. I think it should be quiz.id, right? Yes, it worked. It looks terrible. We're gonna fix how it looks. Let's click. Oh, it didn't work. I spoke too soon. Okay, so looks like the error is here in the views.py. So let's go back to it. And what if we add the ID like this? Would that help? Oh, I see. I also forgot to write .html. Okay, let's try again. Yay, it worked. Okay, next up we wanna add in the choices to our quiz detail. So go over here and start another for loop for choice in question dot choices dot all, and then we want radio input. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and then customize it. So here the ID will be choice.id. So let's add in choice like this. And name, let's make it question.id. And the value, choice.id. And then for, let's copy what we've added to the ID and paste it. So choice underscore choice.id. And over here, we want to see our choice. So choice.text. All right. Let's see what happens if we refresh. Oh, I forgot to end the for loop. And for. Yay. It works. Ta-da, I'm so happy. Actually, but let's add break. Nice. We did it. We have officially earned ourselves a break. Oh, by the way, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. All right, hello again. I'm thinking that we should try to improve the appearance of our website. We're not gonna go crazy because we wanna finish this quickly. So let's actually create a variable to unify the text colors. So font color, and let's make it whitish. Okay, I think that is better. Then let's change the font family. Let's choose this one, serif. And now let's go to the nav bar and add some padding bottom. Let's make it 3 rem. And let's make the font size X large. Let's add some padding top and make it 1 rem. Okay, and now let's go to our centered div. Let's make the width 80%. And for our links, let's change the color and let's make it the same as our text for now. Okay, so let's add some margin top. Okay, and let's go back to the quiz detail. And let's make this an h2 just to see what happens. And let's add HTML tag to the quiz title. Let's make it h3. Let's give it the class title. Make text decoration underline. And I'm not sure if I'm in love with how big navbar is. That's better. I feel like the quiz looks okay so far. Like I would send it to a person that I'm really mad at and I wouldn't feel embarrassed about it. However, I would like to fix this page, the index.html. I'm not gonna like make big changes or anything, but I would add a title that says quizzes, and I would start an unordered list and have the quizzes be list items. Yeah, I think that's better. Our app would be completely pointless if there was no way for us to tell which user answered what. So we would need an authentication system. All right. Luckily, Django is awesome and comes with an authentication system already set up with middleware and everything. Cool stuff. But we gotta set up some stuff. One of the things we need to do is create the templates for our account related stuff. So let's do that. Let's create a templates folder in the root directory, and let's create another folder in it called registration, and that's where we're going to keep files like login.html and so on. Okay, now we need to go back to our settings.py and tell our template loader where to look for our templates. So we're gonna import OS, and then we're gonna go all the way to templates. And over here, we wanna add in os.path.join base there templates. All right, super cool. And now in order to include our account paths, we have to go to the urls.py in our project directory. And we're gonna add path, accounts, and then we want to include, actually I don't remember the exact code, so I'm gonna Google it quickly, I'm sorry. So Django Auth URLs. Yes, that's it. That's the line we want. Okay. All right, and now run server. As you can see, there are some paths that are already available for us just because we have included Django contrib auth.urls. And if we try to go to login right now, we will find that it's an empty page, and that's because we created the login.html file, but it's empty. So let's change that. All right, let's go to our quiz detail and just copy this, and then let's paste it in our login.html, and then let's delete everything other than the block content and the two divs that we have created earlier. Okay, let's refresh. Yes, it works. Okay, now let's create a form and let's give it the method post and action URL login, and also CSRF token for protection. And then we want to render our form as P, and then we want a submit button. So button type submit, and it should say login, and then submit. Okay, let's refresh. All right, looks like I made a mistake, and looks like the mistake is here. Okay, oh, I think it should be like this. Oh, yay, it shows, and it doesn't look terrible. All right, let's try to use the super user we've created earlier to see what happens when we try to log in. Oh, so it tried to redirect us to account/profile, which we haven't created at all. So let's change where it redirects after login. To do that, let's go to settings.py and let's add login underscore redirect underscore URL, and we wanna redirect to the root. Let's run our app and try again. So py manage.py run server. Okay, super pico. It worked. All right, so we could just as easily create a password reset form and also set up password reset system, but I actually don't think we need that. We don't need a registration form either, because these quizzes or this entire website was created for specific people. So I'll be creating accounts for them through the admin, and then I'm gonna send them their accounts. So for example, I'll create an account for a lady called Margot, and I could create a password for her. Of course, we could later on create all sorts of things if we want. We could allow users to change their passwords. We could do anything pretty much. But for now, minimalism will have to do, because today is the 30th of December and I would like to forgive everybody that I'm mad at before the end of the 31st, because I want to start the new year full of warm feelings towards everybody. All right, remember when we said that we are going to fix this part of the nav bar? Like, we're gonna make users able to log in and log out. Okay, so let's add the logic. The first thing we want to do is check if user is authenticated, and if they are, then we want to give them the ability to log out. Actually, let's cut this bit inside the nav right div. Okay, so if user is authenticated, then we want them to be able to log out. So we'll create a form with the method post, and action would be URL logout. And then we can add CSRF token and a button with the method submit, and it should say log out. Okay, and then let's add else, and else we want to be redirected to URL login. Okay, so and if. Okay, let's refresh. Yay! When we click on login, we go to the login page. Let's try logging in as Super Pico again. All right, we logged in. Now let's log out. And we logged out. And then actually when we log out, I think it would be better if we get redirected back to index.html. So let's go to settings.py, and I'm going to copy login redirect underscore URL and paste it again and change login to log out. All right, and that should do it. All right, so right now anyone could see any quiz, but we obviously would not want that. We want only logged in users to be able to see the quizzes. So let's go to views.py, and we're gonna need to import login required decorator. So I'm gonna Google how to do that. Yes, that is the one we want. Okay, so we copied it and pasted it. And on the quiz detail, we're just gonna use it. So add login required. And we're going to add in the login URL so that the user gets redirected to login. All right, I think now it should work. So let's go back to quizzes. And as you see, when we click on a quiz, we don't go to the quiz anymore. We go to the authentication page, the login page. So let's log in and see what happens. Password. All right, and now after we have logged in, we can see the quiz. Easy peasy, right? All right, I think it's time to create the user responses model. All right, so class user response, which inherits from models.model. And of course, the user response model would have to be associated with a user. Let's import the user. So from django.contrib.auth.models, import user. All right, and we want to establish a one-to-many relationship between a user and user responses. So models.foreign key user on delete models.cascade. Okay, and we also want a one-to-many or a many-to-many relationship between questions and users. So keep it that way. Also, we want a relationship with quizzes. Let's just copy this and then paste it, fix it up. Okay, and finally, we need choice. Choice. Okay, and let's copy the string method and give our user response class a string method also, so it doesn't get jealous. Okay, and that would be self.user.username. All right, so although I am very lazy, I still feel like if we're gonna make a string method, let's make it make sense. So let's start a string literal. Be self.user.user name. Then you can say response to self dot question dot text and self dot quiz dot title is self dot choice dot text. Oh, why did I make this capital? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. All right, next up, we wanna define another method to calculate the quiz score. So def calculate score self. What's up with me writing capital letters accidentally? I don't know. Okay, total score. Again, I did it again. I think I'm used to JavaScript. Okay, total score sum choice dot score for choice and self dot question dot choice dot all. Would this do it? Would this do it? I hope so. And then we want to return total score. All right, so now we have to go back to our views and our templates, because although we can see the quiz question and choices. This is not actually a quiz. It's just displaying the choices for us, but nothing happens. Like there is no logic, and there isn't even a submit button. So let's fix that. We are gonna create a form element with the method post, give it the ID quiz form, and action URL quiz submit quiz.id. And of course, we have not added this URL to our URL paths. So before we continue the form's logic, let's go to our urls.py and add it. Just to save myself some very little effort, I'm just going to copy this and then paste it. And I'm just going to add submit. And here in the views, we will have views.quizSubmit. We also didn't create it yet, but we will. And the name will be quiz submit. So let's go to views and let's define quiz submit. We're going to add the logic in later. Okay, so let's go back to our quiz detail. We could add a CSRF token because why not? You know, everybody loves CSRF tokens, I think. Okay, and over here, we are gonna add button with the type submit. Submit quiz button. Okay, now let's go back to our views.py and let's add the logic to our quiz submit. If request dot method is post, then we want to get the quiz. I'm just gonna copy this line and paste it, and I'm gonna copy this line where we get the questions and paste it. And we want to make sure that our guilty users would answer all the questions we give them. So to do that, we're gonna tell them when they miss a question with an error message. So let's initiate a variable error message and set it to none. And then we wanna iterate through the questions. So for question in questions, choice ID would be request dot post dot get, and it would be string literal question underscore question dot ID or none. Okay, and if choice ID, choice is get object or 4 again, but not quiz, be choice, and ID would be choice ID. Okay, now we want to create a user response object. So user response dot objects dot create user is request dot user quiz question is question, and selected choice else. We wanna populate the error message, and it would be select a choice for each question. Okay, so if there's an error message, then we want to use messages from Django contrib. So let's import it. So from Django.contrib import messages. Okay, and if error message, then messages dot error request error message context quiz and questions, and then return render request quiz detail.html and context. Oh, if error message. Okay, and then messages. If we don't get an error message, if everything goes up as planned, then when you want to send a success message, tell the user that. So we want to tell them quiz submitted, and we want to redirect to index because we can't be bothered to make any more templates right now. Okay, so return redirect with detail with ID. We can't use redirect without importing it, so let's import it. All right, let's make migrations. And now let's migrate. All right, and let's run server again. So type error, unexpected keyword, selected choice. Have I not added selected choice to the user response model? Oh, I named it choice. Okay, let's change it to selected choice. Let's make migrations. So py manage.py, make migrations. Yes. And then py manage.py, migrate. And then let's run server again. I just remembered that I forgot to add messages, which means that the error message and the success message won't show. So let's just add them to the base generic under block content. Let's make it if messages. Let's create an unordered list. Give it the class messages. And then for message in messages, if message dot tags, class message dot tags, and if message and then list. And then let's end for, and let's also end if. Adding in a conditional for the classes would allow us to style the messages differently based on whether they're success messages or error messages. So let's go back to styles.css and let's add styling to class success. Let's make the color green, and for error, let's make the color red. Okay, and now let's go back to our page. Template syntax error. Oh, I see. And if like this. Okay, let's pick. It says quiz submitted. Awesome. But I don't want there to be a choice chosen for us by default. I want to make sure that people deliberately pick their choices. Let's remove checked. Okay, now if we submit quiz, we see the error. Let's choose and submit, and we see that the quiz is submitted. This is very nice. Okay, how about we copy those divs and wrap our errors in those divs so that they don't look very out of place. Okay. Yay. Up until now, we haven't registered our user response model in admin. So let's get to that. Okay, so unfortunately, just registering the user responses like we've done with quiz would not do. So we're gonna have to create class user response admin with the admin model admin, and we're gonna have to customize it. I'm just gonna copy this and paste it and change the name to user response admin. And we are going to take advantage of this display functionality, and we want to see the user or the username, and we want to see the question, and we want to see the selected choice of that question. And we want to see the score the user got for this question, or the score that is associated with the question. And we want to see quiz total score. And also we want to add search fields, username. And we want to add list filter. And we want to filter by user or by quiz. Okay. Oh, another thing I forgot to add to the list display is the quiz title. All right, so in our list display, we have some things that we are gonna need to define. So let's start defining them. First, we wanna define quiz title, and it is simply the title of the quiz. We just gotta get it. All right, next we wanna define the score. So return object dot selected choice dot score if object dot selected choice else 0. And then we want to define total score, and it's based on the user responses. So user responses, user response dot objects dot filter, user object dot user, and quiz is quiz, and total would be user responses dot aggregate total score sum, and then finally return total if total is not none else. Okay, and then just like we've registered question and question admin, we're gonna register user response and user response admin. So I'm just gonna copy this and change it. User response and user response admin. Let's run server again. Oh, okay, I made a mistake. Oh, it's because I called this total score and this quest total score. So let's fix it. Yes, that works. All right, so now if we go to our user responses, we will find that we have a table with a user, the question, the selected choice, the score for the selected choice, the quiz title, and the total score of the quiz. Let's go to quizzes, or to questions actually, and let's try adding another question. Let's make it, who is the best person in your life? And let's make the text my mom, and that would be 1. And I am, let's make it 2. And then Pico, and that would be 100 or 1000. Why not? Nobody says things have to make sense. Okay, and let's make another question. Let's have you bought Pico an apology letter? And the text is yes, sure. Let's make it 1. And just because I'm tired and sleepy, I'm gonna add the questions later. I'm just gonna leave it at that and check our quizzes. Okay, we gotta sign in. Oh, we made a mistake. I mean, I did. You guys are innocent. Okay, let's go to quiz detail. And the mistake is that we have our button inside our for loop, which is very stupid of me. All right, now if we refresh, problem solved. Okay, let's try to submit quiz. Uh-oh, we have to select a choice for each question. So let's just do that. Okay, and if we submit quiz, it works. Okay, now let's go to admin and let's go to user responses. Okay, and we can see responses here. We can see that our quiz total score actually calculates the score by summing up the score of each choice, which is cool, right? It does so much for us. Okay, I think I'm very happy. Let's create another user. Let's call the user loser user. And let's make the password I hate pass. I hate pass. Right. Let's save. Let's go back to our quiz. Okay, and if you wanna log in as loser user. Yay, we logged in as loser user. All right, so let's pick some responses. Nice, quiz submitted. Okay, now, so let's log in as Super Pico again. And the password is password. Yay, and we can see loser user responses. Okay, if we only want to see what loser user said, then we can just click on loser user. If we want to see what Pico said, then we click on Pico, test user, we click on test user. So everything works the way we want. All right, fine. I'm gonna add some styling to the button. Just chill. Oh, I'm talking to the voice in my head. All right, so this is how the quiz looks now. I think considering the time constraints and everything, we've done an awesome job. And all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I had fun. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. All right, have a lovely evening and see you later. Bye.